Hello and welcome back to another Aim High Live. I just realized I had sound on my other window. My name's Phil Wilcox. I'm a poet, but also an English tutor. And so today we're going to be doing something a little bit different in this back to school kind of series. We're doing 1 week on how to write an essay. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This might be setting off alarm bells for some of you. Some of you might be going, no, I don't want to think about essays. I hate essays. No, 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 no. And that's fair enough. Uh, or some of you might be going, I'm really good at it, so what can you teach me? Well, hopefully I can teach you some tips and tricks for people who know how to write essays. And if you've never written an essay that you're proud of before, hopefully I can give you a nice little guide on how to do that. So hopefully I have something for everyone, but we're going to have fun with it. And before we begin, I just want to say hi to NZ Catherine. How you going in New Zealand, NZ Catherine? Hi from Restreambot Facebook, Louise Welby. Hey. Before we begin, I would love if Olive was here because I've got something that she worked on. Hopefully she is. Last week I did a session on world building, which is essentially just like building a world for characters to inhabit. So if it's Harry Potter, it's the world of Hogwarts and the wizarding world. If it's Lord of the Rings, it's sort of Middle Earth, and it's building up this whole world for things to happen in that world that might not, might even be bigger than the story itself. And we actually had a submission from Olive, who created her own world, and we've got it here. I just want to share it with you. It's called the Sweet Kosher, which is a play on Sakosha, which is one of the tallest trees in the world. She came up with an idea of an integrated system of animals living within a Sakosha tree, and all of these animals kind of having different roles. I think this is it's really beautiful. I think they're great illustrations. I've got some more slides to show you because I want you to see the details of these illustrations. But so for instance, we have the owl at the top who like acts as the watchtower for the Sweet Kosher, but really the owl has some, spoiler alert, nefarious kind of motives, and is coordinating with an evil empire. We have a train that you might be able to see that goes alongside this tree that transports all the different animals to the different sections, crucially to the source of the energy which comes down in the roots. And these are sort of managed by the mouse and the hedgehog, who have different roles, and the hedgehog moves the leaves and the mouse coordinates it. Anyway, I love this. I think it's beautiful. I think that there could be a really great story out of it. And the reason I wanted to bring it up, as well as just kind of like loving it, is wow, have you had your hair cut? I haven't. It's just been raining outside. My hair is wet. Hey everybody. Wisdom. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to now share how we can create a world and around an essay or an idea. Because an essay is a scary word for putting out an idea in an eloquent, simple way. And so we're just going to look at that. And ideas can be fun and exciting, and I love ideas. And so if we can think of a way that we can get these ideas to be translated to people in a way that makes sense, that's simple, that's engaging, that's fun, that's what an essay is. So let's have a look at what we've got on for this week. We're going to be constructing the perfect essay. And you know what? I was thinking in this week, what we could do is we could actually do this in session right here, right now. So when we construct the perfect essay, I was thinking I could get ideas for topics from you, and then from there, what we'll do is we'll write the essay, and we'll come up with some ideas of, for instance, what the topic is, what our points are going to be, and what our structure is. And in this, I'm going to step by step take you on a guide on how to write an essay. Now, this is really important, not just for English, but for any topic at school. You might be asked to write an essay in geography, in history. It's going to be very, very useful. Hey, Jack, how you going? In a whole bunch of different topics. And this just applies for all of them. So I'm not going to give you an English essay that I'm going to write as an example now. In fact, maybe you can help me out with a topic. So I've got 4 of these. And a great way for an essay to start is with an idea. So ideas are exciting. I love to play this game when I've got friends over at my house, which is I say to them, what is the most embarrassing thing that you believe? Or I might say, what's the most dangerous idea that you have in your head? And people go, oh, I don't know, and someone might have the idea like, oh, I guess the most embarrassing thing that I believe is that the world kind of acts like an animal, like an organism with organ systems and different spheres of like biosphere and hydrosphere and atmosphere and little tiny cells, and that's like people, and it's kind of sick and off balance, and something over here affects the body in this way, and so the earth is kind of like a giant animal, even though it's not, but it kind of is. And that's a cool idea. So what's your cool idea? We've got 4 of these, and I'm going to pick the best or the most engaging idea, and we're going to write an essay, or we're going to structure an essay on it. So I've got a few topics here. Let me see. Does anyone have any cool ideas on sport? Sport. That's the first one. Write it in the chat. If you've got something cool, an idea on sport, like it might be like, Federer is actually part angel. I don't know. Or maybe it's like, maybe it has something to do with this sort of picture, and it's like, sport, something about sport being controlled and manipulated, and it seems like it's a game where, or like an event where the best rises to the top, but actually it's controlled behind scenes by higher powers. Something like that. I don't know. Whatever your idea is, okay, idea, sport is connection with fun. Maybe you can put that in another way. I really like that. Sport is connection with fun. Sport is like chess. Ooh, I like that, NZ Catherine. That's cool too. Let's go over to the next topic as well. If you've got more ideas for sport, grand unifying ideas, exciting, dangerous ideas, that's cool. Sport is like chess. Dictatorship? Sport's like a dictatorship? It's interesting that you just said sport is like chess, because next topic, what about politics? Literally a chessboard, NZ Catherine. Ooh, okay. How about this? Instead of making it a question, Karina, why don't we try and make it a statement? And make it linked to something bigger, which is, maybe it's like, why politicians never say what they mean. That could be a good essay. And remember, we're framing it as a statement, not a question. It's a really good one, though. I love that, Kareem. Any more for politics? Any more for sport as well? We've got 2 more after this, and I'm going to be choosing the best one here. Politics is like putting yourself in the Triwizard Maze in Harry Potter. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. NZ Catherine, very creative suggestions from you. I'm loving this. let's see what else we've got. So if you've got any more for politics, hit me up. If you've got any more for sport, hit me up. Oh, idea. Politics is little. Can we get confirmation on that one, Lottie Block? Next topic is science. Maybe you like science, maybe you don't. Maybe you're confused by science. Maybe it's not science that you want to do an idea on. It's like the world in general. Maybe it's something to do with space. Maybe it's something to do with animals. Maybe you want to have like an essay that's a really silly title. Like maybe it's an idea which is like, every single cat is a reincarnated evil Egyptian pharaoh. I don't know. Maybe you hate cats like me. Or maybe it's like all good dogs go to heaven. Maybe that's I love dogs. Maybe that's the title of your essay. So do you have something for science? I mean, both of those things aren't science, are they? Reincarnation and heaven aren't really the topics of science. But let me know. Let me know if you have something related to science, an idea. And the last one is money, baby. Money. Something about money. Something about capitalism or economics or I don't know. It can be as silly as you want. A silly, grand idea about money. Now, I'm going to give us... Why is money so desired? Can you, then said Catherine, can you turn that question into a statement and make a claim? Can you say, money is desired because, and I want you to say a reason why it's desired. Oh, what else do we have? Money is nothing. Time is money. Science is energy for new meeting. Interesting. The best things in life are free. Oh, that's really sweet. What about the best things in life are expensive? Okay. I want you now to, for Lottie Block, for Karina, for NZ Catherine, for, even if Jack is still here, if Aim High Live is still here, I want you now to vote for your favorite one, but you can't vote for your own one. So everyone vote for your favorite one. You can't vote for your own one. And we're going to see, I'm going to tally that up. I'm going to have a vote as well. And we're going to see what we're going to write our essay on. This is going to be exciting. This is going to be kind of random. There's some great suggestions in here. I might tweak them a little bit. No heart and wisdom. Oh, Lottie Block. Money is desired because it shows wealth, power, position, and deceit. Ooh, Xeno994's here. Oh, I miss you, Xeno994. So let me know, what is your favorite idea that you would love to be a topic for our essay? Xeno994's voting for money. Okay, well, maybe we'll choose one of the money ones. What do other people think? Lottie Block, science is energetic for new meeting. Cool. I don't know what that. I don't know what energetic means. I don't know what that means. Can you tell me what you think that means, NZ Catherine or Lottie Block? Can you tell me what you think that statement means? I think it's kind of cool. Otherwise, we might go for a money one. money can be rather interesting. Sounds ominous. Seen on 994. Let's do money one. I like NZ Catherine's money is desired because it shows wealth, power, position, and deceit. What about, how can we make that into an essay? Oh, money has no heart. Ooh. How about we go with the metaphor of heart? All energy connection, all is energy connection, higher power. Okay, thank you, Lottie Block. Money has no heart. Let's go with that because it'll tie into some of the things that NZ Catherine says. But let's extend that metaphor to say that that money. What I'm thinking here. Money could be rather interesting. Money is desired. Why money is desired is a fool. What about this? This is going on from NZ Catherine. Why money is a fool's dream? Because it's a dream, like it's desired, and we've also been shown that money has no heart. So why don't we go with that? Okay, we're gonna go with that. It's using a bit of elements from everyone. Sorry, that took me a little bit of time to cogitate. So our thesis is gonna be why money is a fool's dream. Okay. Now, obviously, you probably wouldn't get this topic in any of your classes. This wouldn't be an English topic. Probably your topic would be on one of the texts that you are going to be studying for GCSEs, not this. But this is just going to be an example of how we're going to structure an essay. So why money is a fool's dream. That's going to be our thesis. Now, that's going to be, our thesis is just another way of saying our main idea, our big idea, the point that we're going to be trying to prove. And the way that I often think about a thesis is in a very, very similar way to how I think of a tree. A thesis is the trunk. It's the thing that you have to keep coming back to. It's the lifeblood of your essay. It gives it structure. It gives it a certain solidity. It is the thing at the very, very center. And what you will find is that we're going to have some points that we're going to make. And these are going to be our branches. And then on those points, we're going to have some leaves. And they're going to be our examples. But this is our main important thing. We have to keep coming back to the trunk. This is our thesis. So when we structure our essay, what we're going to do is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to think of, well, what branches and different directions can we say that come off this thesis that are going to support this thesis? So the way that we're going to do that is with points. Now, can anyone tell me in the chat line what this picture might have to do with points in an essay? What do you think? Money is technically everything and nothing at the same time. Why don't we go with that one? That's cool. Why money is everything and nothing. I like that. Let's so deep. Okay, Xeno994 says the sectors. NZ Catherine says breaking up, rule of thirds. Oh, NZ Catherine, got it straight away. Yes. You might have heard of the rule of thirds in photography. Often when you get a camera, they'll come with, in the viewfinder, an option to have this little grid. The reason they have this grid is they find that the best looking photos happen when you position things and the point and the focus point right in these areas here. And why this picture is so cool is you've got like a vector line here which points to this dog, but the dog points to that. It's right on the third. The rule of thirds, we're going to be making 3 points. The rule of thirds it's so prevalent throughout the world. It's prevalent in kind of like patterns, in maths, in literature. It's kind of everywhere. It's satisfying. It's simple. It feels like when you give 3 examples, it feels like it's a thing. I've talked about this before. There's even a tendency for people when they talk, you might have noticed that they do this thing where they go, and so it's like, and there'll be a band playing and music and dancing, and people often talk in the rule of thirds, and they're often just repeating the same thing but in a kind of different way or giving it a slightly different flavor. But they want to kind of back up what they're saying and making it sound like a thing, so they put it in thirds. Listen for that tone. It's like searching for the next thing in conversation next time. And sometimes people can't think of 3 things. They can only get to 2. They still got that tone and they're searching for the third, but then they just ended at 2, and that's okay. We're going to be thinking of 3 points that are going to support our topic, which is going to be, oh, wow. Big idea. Money is the child with many faces. Ooh, that's cool. Breaking up the rule of thirds, deep, points of view. Hey there, Xeno94. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to have a look at some options for structuring. Now, these 3 circles here are not half of an Olympic rings logo. They are going to be our 3 points, and we're going to be using a Venn diagram overlap to find where they have commonalities, and that's going to help us structuring our essay. So our thesis, which is now going to be why money is everything and nothing. Okay, now there is a few ways to do this. Did you see the little thing that appeared on the screen? Who has some ideas for some branches or some points to come off this trunk in how we can structure this? Why money is everything and nothing. Now, here's what I don't think we should do 1 point on everything and 1 point on nothing. I want us to include both points in the essay. Each point, both everything and nothing in each of the points. So who has a point that they could do? Why money is everything and nothing. Random snow. Oh my God. Okay. All right, let's have a little think. A point that we might have is money doesn't have the power to let us move in the right direction. It's like a maze. You can get stuck. Ooh. Yeah. how about that? Like, it's a maze you can get stuck. Okay, how about one of our points is we're going to be using the example of a maze. Maze. I like that. The reason I like that as well is because mazes, when you're in them, seem all consuming and important. But when you're out of them, they seem like not important at all. Like they're just like a foolish little fun thing that you did, and really they have no bearing on life, which is both everything and nothing. But in this point, we're talking about how you get stuck. I like that. Okay, so what are some more points that we could have? I really like this one here. Money doesn't have the power to move us in the right direction. What about the promise of power with money, but actually it doesn't lead to something? And we've used a maze for one of the points. What if we use another example, another metaphor for one of it? So maybe what we could do is we could say, dream. And we could say, it's not real. Okay, so we have my money is everything and nothing. I mean, when you're in a dream, similarly, over here, something that we'd have in common over here is when you're in a dream, just like a maze, it feels all consuming. And then you're out of it and it's not. Ooh, money is a slippery slope. Money is a slippery slope. Let's go with that. So like by slippery slope, I think you're meaning like, you know, the more that you get, the more you want, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Let's take that and use it maybe a slightly different metaphor. What about money is a fast food meal? What about money is a happy meal at McDonald's? And then, you know, like when you have a happy meal, or when you have like McDonald's, or you have some fast food or something. I don't really eat McDonald's, but you have it and it doesn't satisfy you, and you just want more, 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 and you just feel sick afterwards. But when you're a kid, it's the thing that you just like, I want McDonald's. The ability to get money is like a castle. Interesting, Will TR05. Money is an empire which takes years to build, but can be torn down in seconds. Ooh, some great ones. Thought is better than the reality. If you don't have it, it's hard to get in. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Why don't we go with that one? I mean, there's so many we could do. I like that one. It's a slightly different point, though, to castle. Thanks, Will. That's cool. You guys are clever. I'm just going to call inaccessible. Gone off the screen there. Okay, so we have our 3 points. Now, we can start to, with these 3 points, see things in common with each other with this. So why money is, and these keywords here, everything, why money is a keyword, but we're also going to have keywords here, which is everything and nothing. Now, everything and nothing have to be in each of these points. Obviously, money does as well. We're proving that money is both of these things. So we're not necessarily disparaging money. We're not necessarily saying that it's not a thing. We are saying it is a thing. We're saying it's everything. But at the same time, we're saying that also it's not really the most important thing. So you see what I'm saying there? When you have those two things either side, a really good essay will, in the conclusion, say what the real thing is then. If it's not money, what is it? I think we're starting to see this essay kind of take shape, but we're just going to fill in this Venn diagram and see how we can order and structure these different points for our essay using these three metaphors with these 3 points associated to it. So we've already got maze and dream. And we got castle. So we've got a similar thing with this maze and dream, which is over here, it seems all-consuming. What about an overlap between maze and castle? So money is you're stuck. Money really makes you kind of, you're stuck, but also money is inaccessible. What do you think? Could be like a similarity between money being something that makes you stuck, or pursuing money makes you stuck, or having money makes you stuck, or not having money makes you stuck. What do you want to go with that? And also reaping the benefits of money. If you don't have it, it's hard to get in, it's inaccessible. What is the common thing there? While you're having to think about that as well, you want it, but you can't reach it. You want it, but you can't reach it. Yeah. Maybe an overlap between that is that money doesn't actually, we think of like money and we have phrases like cash flow, and we have things like, oh, the kind of like fluidity of money, and we have like words like mercurial, which is an old word which means like moving freely through different forms of money. But maybe money in reality is more concentrated in different parts, and so there is inequality. So maybe what we want to say is that it doesn't flow, and maybe what we want to say is that there's inequality. And then this one over here, what are we going to say? The difference between it being this like ephemeral dream, we can't touch it, and castle, what are going to be a link there? It's a link there we could do. I'm going to go with money is actually hard to get. So the overlap points we have are that money is all-consuming. However, there's real inequality with what happens with money, and that if there is inequality with this, it's hard to change that because it's hard to get money if you don't have money. And so overall, what we're saying then is this big overlap is that money is a big reality to our world, but actually it doesn't have the power to enact real change. And that's our middle point. That's our like big kind of thing that we're saying. So we're saying why money is everything and nothing. What we're really saying is money has power in this world to to protect the rich and isolate the poor. It's a very attractive dream, but ultimately this dream is all consuming for the people who don't have it, and it has real consequences for them, and it's hard to get. So that's what we're saying about money is a great way to have contact with the spider in a castle with no bridge. For the spider is money, a wet nothing, and here's a circle around your painting page. Lottie Block, you're coming up with some real wild stuff. This isn't a poetry lesson. I'm impressed. So now we need to structure it. So now we need to structure we've got our structure for our different points. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our easy, quick structure is we're going to have our intro, and then we're going to have point 1, point 2, point 3, and then we're going to have a conclusion. So point 1, we're going to talk about one of these ones. So I think let's talk about how money is a dream. I think if we follow that structure, it's like, it's a dream, people are stuck, it's a maze, and it's inaccessible, they can't get to it. Castle. So it'll be dream, maze, castle. So it will be money is not real, dream. Money makes people stuck, and it's inaccessible. Okay, so let's do one of these points here, and we're going to find out how we can structure this. Now, you might have heard of this technique before. The easiest way to structure things that I've found is through this technique called the peel technique. Every point will have a peel, and it's just an acronym. And we're going to use this tree as the acronym. We've got our point. We've got our explaining what that point means. So that's E. We got our second E, which is give an example. So give evidence. It could be example or evidence for this second E. So that might be a quote that someone has used, or it might be an example from history, or it might be an example in the world. But it has to be evidence. It can't just be like a metaphor that you come up with. It needs to be something. Then this is a tricky one. Analysis. Analysis is explaining why that piece of evidence backs up your point. So the thing that you're saying, that money is not actually real. And then the last one is link. It's all well and good to make a point, but you need to then link it back to the tree trunk, to the structure, to the thesis, to the main point, which is why this means that money is everything and nothing. So if we go with the point that money is not real, it's like a dream. You all forgot about shape-shifting lizards. A lot on the chat about lizard people. I appreciate it. So this is how we're gonna be doing it. So we're gonna be doing a point on how. Actually, let's do the last point. Why money is inaccessible. We're gonna do the castle one. We're gonna do Will's one. I really like Will's one. Okay, so here our point is going to be at the very start, this is every paragraph for an essay. So you are going to have times 3 of these in each of your essay. The rule of 3, and this is the third one. Easy, the point that you're going to make is just one sentence, sometimes called the topic sentence. And in the topic sentence, you just explain what your point is going to be. So in this one here, why money is everything and nothing, that's our topic, that's our thesis. But our point is money is like a castle. It's inaccessible for those who don't have it. And we just write that as a topic sentence. That's our topic sentence. So we just be like, I'm not going to actually write it. Okay, that's our topic sentence. The next thing we're going to do is we need to explain what that means. So what does it mean to be a castle? Maybe you can say, well, castles are well fortified and they're there to protect the people who are within them. But if you are outside of the castle, 1, you're vulnerable to people attacking. And 2, maybe you want to get into the castle and you attack the castle, but a castle's walls are made deliberately thick. And there's towers often, and there's people with bows and arrows shooting down. And maybe you then have to explain why that is actually like money. And you're sort of explaining why maybe there are barriers in the way of people who don't have money. And you can say, maybe some of these barriers are, if you don't have money for an education, you can't get an education, which means you can't get a high-paying job, which then means you don't have that much money, which means your kids don't have that much money, and it just sort of perpetuates. Now, that seems like a really good time to bring in an example or evidence. Now, some great evidence here is you might go in and do some research and find some statistics and go, well, did you know that did you know that 80% of all House of Commons, so that's Parliament House in Britain, 80% of them went to the richest public schools in the country. Now, I don't think that statistic is quite true. I think it's close to that though. But if you find the statistic and you put it in, then what you're doing is you're giving evidence for your actual point. Now, you're not giving evidence of a castle, that's just a metaphor. You're giving evidence what the castle means, which is that wealth is inaccessible. Then you get to your analysis, which is just a fancy way of saying how something is the way it is. And so your analysis there might just be something like, so as we can see from these statistics, it's incredibly hard for people in low income households who don't have that much money to kind of better themselves, despite what people say about there being a grand vision, a grand dream, a grand kind of vision of wealth. And you might have some line like, so although the castle looks glittering, perched up on the hill, to the lowly farmer who tends the gardens outside the walls, it is nothing but a lofty dream. Something like that. And then you just link it back to the topic sentence. It's clear that in this way, money is everything. It's the protection, it's the goal, but it's also effectively nothing to the people who don't have it because it's so inaccessible. And you link it back always. And that would be a point that you would make. Oh my goodness, consumes the poor. So here we are, we're coming to the end of our time now. That's how you write an essay. And we're just gonna be, you're gonna tell them what you're gonna tell them. you're going to have your 3 points, each of them with the peel structure, and then you're going to conclude it at the end. Now, if you do this and you break it up, and if you're one of those people who needs things broken up into different goals and lists and like you do to-do lists, like I do to-do lists. If I've got something big to do, I need to break it up into little things. So what you can do with an essay, it's like almost like a color in by numbers kind of thing. You work out what you're going to say. You're going to work out all of the points that might be made around it. And then you just break that up and you find some evidence and you explain what that evidence is. And you tie it back to the main point. Now, hopefully you've learned something new. Hopefully this has been helpful. This has been sort of a bit of an unusual one, these high school ones, because a lot of people are going back to school or they're getting serious with some work. And I think essay writing is scary. But ultimately, it just becomes a tool in which you can just explain your ideas. So keep coming up with cool ideas, keep coming up with interesting things to say, and then hopefully put them down in essay form and say them really slickly in a cool way. My name's Phil Wilcox. This has been High School English, How to Write an Essay. Never trust a poet. I'll see you later. Bye, guys.